Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies of the House, it is truly an honor and a privilege to be able to present House Bill 2 to this body today. A bill that will make a reality, a final reality, out of a project that has been dreamed about and envisioned in our community in Warren County and South Central Kentucky for nearly 30 years. Work in earnest has been going on this project since 2012. I joined this body after being elected in 2010 and was sworn in the first time in 2011. And the process started at that point in time, and I have a letter of support that I wrote in 2012. So nearly my entire time in this body, we've been working on this specific project. And the project was to build and bring a 90-bed veterans nursing home, partially funded by the federal government and partially funded by the state government, to Warren County to fill a hole in an area where we did not have one of these facilities. Over the years, this General Assembly has passed multiple bills to provide funding for that facility, for the initial federal match, additional dollars to provide funding support to the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs to pay for necessary engineering and design fees that we had to do to be able to get federal funds. And then 2 years ago, in March of 2020, we received word the last day we were on this House floor that our number had come up on the federal list, and we were going to have the opportunity to break ground and build this facility. Through 2021 and 2022, there was a lot of work being done to make sure we had everything in order. And that ended with the bid process that took place in March and April of last year. Unfortunately, when we got the bids back, and we had a competitive bid process with multiple contractors who bid, the project came in well over budget. And we went into crisis control mode across state government. Myself, Senator Wilson on the other end of the hallway, the governor's office, and others who have worked on this project for many, many years. We first looked to the federal government to see if there was a way that they could help us to deal with the shortfall. And they did, through the VA program, come up with an additional almost $2 million within the 10% variance that they allow in their changes. However, that was what they were limited to. And we all know that Washington doesn't necessarily move as fast or as functionally as Frankfurt does. And so they were limited to be able to do very much else. And we were either going to do one of two or three things. We were either going to not take this money and start this project all over again, pushing it back another 2, 3, maybe 5 years to fund and build, or we were going to step up as a state and we were going to make up the difference. And so we broke ground in November on this facility after the governor's office and his administration, the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs, as well as our leadership in this chamber and the leadership on the other end of the hall all agreed in principle that we would come back and we would appropriate this when we got here. And today, in this House, we're going to do just that as we appropriate $16.63 million to finalize this project for the citizens of South Central Kentucky and the veterans of South Central Kentucky. Mr. Speaker, I'd be happy to answer any questions. If there be none, I would move passage of House Bill 2.